Today we're going to look at Psalm 13. Psalm 13. How long, O Lord, will you forget me forever? How long will you hide your face from me? How long shall I take counsel in my soul, having sorrow in my heart all the day? How long will my enemy be exalted over me? Consider and answer me, O Lord my God. Enlighten my eyes, or I will sleep the sleep of death. And my enemy will say, I have overcome him, and my adversaries will rejoice when I am shaken. But I have trusted in your loving kindness. My heart shall rejoice in your salvation. I will sing to the Lord, because he has dealt bountifully with me. David here is the one who's writing this psalm, and it begins with David asking, how long, Lord? Lord, are you going to forget me forever? And this might seem a little bit surprising when we think about David and what we read about David in the scriptures, that God was with him and God blessed him and God helped him overcome different adversaries, from wild animals to enemies and even a giant in Goliath. But it's important for us to understand and to recognize that even someone like David, who received help from the Lord to go through all of those challenges, he was one who did face adversity and did face difficulties in his life and wondered, when is God going to step in and help? When is God going to deliver me from what I am currently facing? It's a reminder for us that we face adversity and we face challenges, and it's difficult to go through. It's hard to go through, and it's normal for us to have these kind of thoughts. It's not that we've abandoned God or we've lost our faith in God, but we do wonder, well, how long is this going to go on? David then acknowledges that if not for you, that if God is not with him, he says that I will sleep the sleep of death. My enemies will overcome me. Without God, we don't have hope. Without God, we don't have anything to look forward to as far as our deliverance. But then at the end of the psalm, he brings us around that while David and while we may at different times see the adversity and forget what God has done or what God will do, he says in verse 5, I have trusted in your loving kindness, and my heart shall rejoice in your salvation. There is something better coming. In verse 6, he says, I will sing to the Lord because he has dealt bountifully with me. God had blessed him in the past. God was going to continue to be with him and would continue to bless him in the future. He was just facing challenges and adversity, and it was difficult to go through. The same is true for us. We face challenges, we face adversity, but we can look back and see where God has blessed us and see where God has done all sorts of good things for us and providing for us now, and the hope that we have for eternity, the hope that we have of something better when this life is over. We can, as David said, rejoice in God's salvation. And so we may be facing difficulties, we may be facing hard times, and those are difficult to go through. And it's very easy to focus on those and ignore the good that has happened in the past and forget the good that will be coming in the future. Hard times don't last forever. And even if they end in death, that doesn't last forever. We still have hope in the Lord. And so if we're going through challenging times, let us remember that God still cares for us, God still blesses us, and God will reward those who are faithful. So let's continue to be faithful to him.